rideshare reseller Mike, and we're from the kitchen today. We're going to do another video of basically something that I use every day, and that is the rideshare reseller toolbox. This box is in my car, and I use this every day when I thrift. We're going to go through it, and we're going to show you what you can build a box so that you can do different testings, that kind of thing. I'm going to show you what I keep in it and what I use it for. All right, we're going to go through that. There's links down below on some of the stuff that I have in here that you can buy on Amazon, that kind of stuff. I think everybody needs one of these. It really saves. You'll pay for this up front, but it'll save you money because some things you test will fail because you had this toolbox. Okay, and save you a few bucks here and there. Who knows? It might save you $10, $20 an item if you have a toolbox set up like this. All right, let's take a peek. So it's a basic toolbox. I'm going to get another one a little bigger. This one's now a little tight, but I'm going to show you in the top section here. Basically in the top section, if you take a look, I've got some batteries in there, C's and D's. I only carry 4 D's, and I actually need another C, and I don't know why I only have 3. I need 4. I have to go get one. But over in this side here, just to show you a couple small little tapes that I carry. These are, let me push this out of the way, I'll get closer here. These are micro cassettes for recorders, micro cassette recorders. So these things you pick up at garage sales, that kind of thing, and the reason you're picking them up for is to build this little toolbox, okay? And that's what I've done over the years, is collected these. Now this is a dictaphone, and this one is just a micro cassette. There's a slight size difference. If you can see it, I will show you. It's a hair bigger. I mean, it's hard to see, but it is a hair bigger. This one, the dictaphone, okay? So that's why there's a couple, in case one breaks or something like that. So I just keep extra. So I have the bigger batteries kind of stored up here on this particular toolbox. All right, before we get into the toolbox, we'll get into a few cords that I carry. So I do carry cords. I'll talk about this one in a minute. These two guys are basically power cords, probably 2 of the most common power cords. This is a triple plug. If you take a look at the end of that, this one goes into most main amplifiers. You can get power that way. So if I have an amplifier that doesn't have a power cord, I've got this power cord to use to test. This one here, very common. There are 2 versions of this. The most popular is the only one I carry. If you look at the end of that one, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to get up close on it. It's rounded and squared at one end. This is probably mostly for DVD combos, that kind of thing, and some amplifiers, some stuff like that. There's another version that's 2 rounded, round on top, round on bottom. I decide not to carry that one because I found that these 2 are the main cords for taking along in case something is missing. You'll be amazed that that this can save you a $20 bill or a $30 bill on an amplifier if you're going to guess. A lot of these stores now are no returns due to COVID. So Savers, Goodwill, and them, they're not taking things back. So I have to test. This one here, this is a tricky one. I have 2 of these. I'm only going to show you one because I only take this one with me. This is a Sony, and it's to the high 8 camcorders. I really only try to grab the Sonys unless there are some Canons or maybe a JVC, but the Sonys seem to be really solid. And this is a charger to one of the 2 or 3 main ones. There's another one in there, but I just don't want to carry too many around, so I carry this one, and I hope that if the camcorder is good enough, I could sell it for parts if it doesn't work. But this helps me, again, it saves me some trouble. If there's a camcorder with this particular plug hookup at the end, that I can test it. So those are the 3 power cords that I carry. okay? Two little tools that I had them out and I was using them for something, are the Jewelers. So you can get the Jewelers set. I'm going to get a new one because mine, you lose these things. But I have a flathead and a Phillips head. These are for little screws like toys to get the batteries out, to open it up, see if the battery is shot, no battery in it, AAA, AA, see if they are corroded, all right? So, Jewelers screwdrivers. All right, let's break into the box. I hope it don't tip over on me. Probably will, knowing me. Well, we'll take out the top and we'll just work on the bottom in a second. All right, so here's the top section. So the top section looks kind of like that. And it gets messed up and I have to straighten it up a lot. So I'll try to tip it without dumping everything else out. All right. AA batteries, 4 of them. Okay. Obvious reason. If you need to check something, you got these. I figure there's mostly 4s. If there's 6 or 8, then I'm not in trouble, but I keep 4 batteries that way. I probably have a couple of these because I always keep a couple. 9 volts. You need a 9 volt. 9 volt is like major, okay? Smaller batteries like these are for calculators and small watches, those kind of things, that kind of situation. I have several of those. Here's another micro cassette. I'm just like a hoarder when it comes to those. Some more wires. Now this is an RCA jack, and why am I carrying these? Test VCRs. If I've got a TV with an RCA jack, I can instantly plug that in and save myself some trouble, because when I get home I test them anyhow and show people on my eBay page the picture of me testing them. So these are RCA jacks, mostly for DVD players, combos, VHS players, that kind of thing. So RCA jacks, that goes in with over there. Optical cleaning fluid. The reason why I carry optical cleaning fluid, for example, I had a Bose system, little Bose Airwave system, whatever that thing is, and the disc wasn't playing. So what I did was I used you're not supposed to use that, but all I had with me was like a paper towel, and I used the paper towel and I put the optical fluid on the lens, the laser lens thing, cleaned it, fixed the problem right there. Bang. So optical cleaning fluid, that's a good one to carry. A bigger screwdriver, Phillips head, pretty straightforward reasons why you would use that. An interesting one. This is a headphone jack down to the smaller headphone jack. You never know when you're going to get the bigger headphones and you can't test it, but if you plug this in and then you can go down to a smaller one, you can test if you have the adapter for like the iPhone or something, you can do that, okay? So I have that, so it's just in case. It's something I've had around and I keep it. All right, let's take a look. What else is in here? This is more optical cleaner, I think. Oh, that is. Let me see. Yeah, same thing, optical. Another battery. All right. 2 different size small batteries. These are for 35mm cameras, that kind of situation. So I carry these. That helps me test those 35mm cameras we talked about in that one video. Also, we carry rolls of film. And the only reason we carry the rolls of film is to see if it advances on the camera. That's why. The key thing here is I've got 3 rolls. I've got 3 of these in here. There's another one in here. Because occasionally, dummy me rewinds the thing back into the cartridge. And it goes all the way in. So I go and I just do this and I advance it maybe 3 or 4 times. Then I pop open the back and then manually push this back in so as not to lose the tongue. So not to lose the tongue. That's why I have 3 rolls, because knowing me, I'll have 2 someday and then I'll have 1. That's just the way I work. So batteries and film. You collect these things, all right? Everybody's seen these Scotty peelers maybe? This has got a little dust on it. This is so you can lift off a tag. You know how many times Goodwill or Savers will put the tag in the wrong spot on the box. So what I do there is I use a Scotty peeler, or in combination with a heat gun if it's a sensitive area. The heat gun you just don't carry around with you, but this you can use, if you're there to try and get it off in the car, that kind of thing, if you have to. I don't use it that much, but it's just a tool that I carry around. Now I usually carry a bigger Sharpie too. I carry a bigger Sharpie for just general purposes, but one of the main reasons for the Sharpie is, and I don't have it here to show you, but when permanent marker is written on a box, let's say, and the box is kind of shiny, it's like a retail package type box, sometimes they'll put $19.95 in permanent marker on the box. If you use another permanent marker and you scratch over that and get it wet and then wipe it off with like your thumb or a cloth or with a combination of goo off, it will take it off. So that's why I have a magic marker. Usually I have the wider tip ones. They seem to work better. This still works, but you can get it quicker. You got to wipe it pretty fast. So if somebody puts a permanent marker on the outside of the box, use another permanent marker to scribble on top of it, and then it'll wipe off. All right, that's a really good tip. That one saved me a lot. I can't remember who taught me that one. Maybe it was Bearded Picker, somebody like that. But I definitely learned that from somebody else. That was not me. All right. Stand up because I don't want to lose this one. I'm going to show you the inside here, okay? Here's the inside now, the bottom of this one. All right, it's going to fall over, so I'm going to trays out of it. I'm going to move it aside a little bit. All right, let's start right here. Cassette tapes, okay? Two versions. Cassette tape recordable, cassette tape from the manufacturer or the factories, okay? This one here is obvious. I do want to play something like that and see if it works. This one here is if I need to record. I can record onto this and play it back. And I also have another one here. This is Richie Blackmore, yeah, and Montrose on here. Very cool. So I keep extras in case they break or in case they get, the machine eats it. We've all had that happen, right? The VHS machine eats the tape. So keep these with you. All right. We're going to dig a little here. This one here, we'll just kind of keep going inside of it. This one here is like a jewelry scale. So if you've got to measure the weight of jewelry or something, you don't trust them, you can sometimes see that. I learned this one from my friend Robert. Robert is a big jewelry guy, and he took this one there, and he carries this with him because he doesn't trust Savers. He buys a lot of gold from Savers, and he wants to weigh it. So I learned that one from him and Commonwealth Picker. Commonwealth Picker also, I think that's where I got this off. I think I got this one day off of his links to Amazon. So jeweler scale. On my key ring, I have the metal magnet for touching metals. I keep that on my key ring. All right. So this is an interesting one. Now, I didn't know these existed, kind of, but then I found out, yeah, they do exist. So here it is. I'm going to take it out and I'll show you. All right. This is a variable voltage plug adapter. It goes from, I got to read, 3 volts to 12 volts, okay? And it has these little heads that attach onto this piece here. So these are the heads. And if you look at them, they are various sizes for connectors to various electronics. So instead of having one cable for all of them, you could have, this could be 6 different sizes right here, and then you got voltages and everything. At least here with these, I can 90% of the time have one that will match up, and then the power will work. I cannot emphasize how many times You go into these places, Goodwill, Savers, and other places, they don't have the power to these things anymore. So this thing is invaluable. This little guy right here will save you money. This little thing, and you can get it on Amazon, and it's cheap. I'm going to upgrade to a little bit better version. This one's kind of getting tired, and I don't like this particular one. I'll have to put a link to another one in the video so you can kind of see it. Get a better quality one, the one I'm going to get. This wire is a little bit too stiff for me, so I'm gonna upgrade this particular one myself. All right, put that aside. What else we got? All right, another tape. That one's actually that one actually is a book tape, so some more like just word tape. So sometimes you want to hear the quality of the machine, and if you got one that's audio book kind of thing where they're just talking, that helps versus music, that kind of thing. All right, you've got to have these. This one here is a 8mm video cassette. That's 8mm. Now this one here is a high 8. There can be a difference sometimes, believe it or not. So it's very interesting. One's high 8 and one is 8mm. Let me pull this out here. They're both pretty much the same, but they react a little bit different in the machine. So I have both, just one of both. So definitely keep one of those, get one of those. All right, next up is the little DV ones. These are the littlest ones. So these are little guys. You see how small that one is, right? For the digital video cameras. So I have one of those. Now, let's go into just some compact disc. There's AC/DC, so when I'm feeling a little bit rowdy, I go AC/DC. When I'm feeling a little mellow, I go Anne Murray. All right. So yeah, I have a couple of discs, you know, that's pretty common. And the one that a lot of people forget is this guy, the 8-track tape. And the 8-track tape is invaluable. I will tell you, this one you must have. And the reason why is most 8-track players do not function or play until you put the tape inside it. So you could get an 8-track player and you're going, it looks like it powers on, or it doesn't. You go, wow, it doesn't power on. But when you turn the power on and you pop the tape, everything starts to work. I learned that from a gentleman through one of my videos a long time ago. And he said, all you gotta do is get a tape and put it in, and I'll guarantee you it probably works. And he was right, it worked. And he increased that I was selling that item for parts, I think for like $100. And as soon as I put the tape in and was able to test it, it jumped up like $125, and I sold it. It was a Pioneer. I remember it went to Hong Kong. So that gentleman, you know, increased my value of that one particular product. So 8-track tape. Again, this is what you're going to look for when you're out, you know, shopping. You look for those kind of items that you can build this little kit with. And this little kit is, you know, I mean, I got most of the stuff like at garage sales or came with the video camera, that kind of thing, and I just kept building these tapes. Obviously, the batteries I have bought. Some of the cords the same way, you know, I've gotten them from extra piles or something like that. A few of these items I have bought, you know, but not many. So you can find this stuff. All right, we got a couple more to do. All right. If you're watching Kevin, this is one of the greatest DVDs of all time, man. The complete history of the San Francisco 49ers. And what's so great about this DVD is it got the 1981 championship game, 49ers versus the Dallas Cowboys. So every time I test a VHS combo DVD player, this is what I get to watch. And sometimes I'll watch 5 minutes of it because it's just so cool. I mean, the greatest game ever played, right? I'm biased. But there's another reason why I like this one. It's the menu setup. Now, when I'm in a store and I want to test something, sometimes you put a disc in and it freezes at the menu. How many times have you put a disc in, an older disc in your player, and you go, well, why is it not forwarding? You have to use a remote or something to get to the next screen, get out of the menu, or it forces you to watch a 45-second trailer. Feels like 45 minutes. So this one here doesn't do that. It just kind of goes straight to where I need it to go. I can go right to the first menu, then I hit play, and it plays. So that's why. So I keep this one around for that reason. So if I'm in a store and I'm thinking that this thing works but it doesn't, and I have this guy with me, which I do, I can take it out or go get it, put it in, hit the play button, and if it starts to play, I'm golden. That's why a lot of these VHS, DVD combos missing remotes. It's difficult to test those in the store. But with stuff like this, you can do it. All right. Standard one here, VHS tape. You got to have one of those. You got to have a couple of these. You must have 3 or 4. These are cheap to get, but the reason why you get 3 or 4 is the machine will eventually eat one of them. They do eat them. This one is my favorite. This is great. I'm crazy. But this guy has brought me so much good luck, Tommy Boy. And it just plays. It's like a player. So I know that this guy's golden. One time it did almost get eaten. I was like panicked, and I did stretch it back in place. But Tommy Boy, it's a good movie. And you know, by the time I'm done doing all of these testings, by the time I do them, I've watched Tommy Boy in 2 or 3 minute segments, and I've watched the 49er game in 2 or 3 minute segments over time. All right, now the one I'm missing, this is a must, but I don't have it with me, and I just realized why. The last beta machine I had, the tape goes into here. It's a Beta Max tape. The customer has it because I left it inside the machine. So now I got to get another Betamax. So you need a Betamax. It doesn't matter. I will pick up, like I've said, every Betamax machine that's out there, unless it's absolutely beat up, because they'll sell for parts, that kind of thing. So it's not the end of the world. It's just cool that if you can test it and it works, it's worth a lot more money. So the next time I get a Betamax, I will just send for a tape and get another tape, or I'll keep looking to see if I can find one. All right. So that gives you a general breakdown of my toolbox and how I work. I take this with me, and it's in the back of my car, just like a jumper cables or anything else. And I use this toolbox to make my life a little bit easier. And if you have it organized, it works out better. You're gonna get a little bigger one with a little more compartments maybe, but yeah, you can see it's saved me a lot of money. Hopefully you learned something on this, you guys. Hopefully you've, I think of everything, like this little guy, that voltage thing, that's really a good one. The 8-track tape is very, very good. And the power cables, I just think the power cables are a plus. So, I mean, everything in here you should try to find. All right, there you go. Another video done. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate everybody, and we will see you next time. Thanks again.